Jamie here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. July 18th, 2024, 30 minutes to the close. Just going to be really quick. It's going to be a quick rant. There's not much to, well, there's a lot to talk about, but the names I've been in taking a little pullback. So I'll talk about some of my thoughts going into tomorrow, some of the names I added today, and go from there. But take a look at the S&P. We are down 1% as I'm talking right now. Some continuation from yesterday's pullback. The divergence that was there yesterday is not here today, and it seems like everything's pulling back. Dow's down more than the S&P. Small caps are down over 2%. And then you start looking at the Nasdaq. uh, Actually, it's the least underperforming name so far. But is this profit taking? Is this ahead of earnings season? Uh, we'll have to see. Was this the news yesterday with in the chip space? I talked about this morning. You look at some of these charts, and as you start looking at them, it's like even these pullbacks right now, they look minuscule. Uh, at for a big picture, right? You take the big picture and you look in the video and you say, wow, this is just some profit taking. It's just happening a little quicker than you would want, right? So hopefully we find some support here, and the market found a little bottom just a little bit ago. Let's see, 551 on I put on the watch list 551 and 554 on the SPY. Looks like we're going to hold 551. If that happens, maybe Netflix reports a decent quarter after the close, and we can find some footing into tomorrow. Same with small caps. 220 was that 222, excuse me, was that spot. We broke under that all the way down to 216.98. We're bouncing a little bit. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. You start looking at the weekly performance. The Dow's still up 1.5%. Small caps are up nearly 2%. S&P's down 1.6%, and the Nasdaq's down 3.5%. So just enough for folks to start writing those bearish skewed posts and FinTwit posts and all the headlines that are going to be wrapped around, hey, this is the top. Then they're going to start comparing to the 2000 bubble, things like that. So we'll have to, hopefully things can resolve a little bit. This rotation that happened gets resolved, and then we can start to churn a little bit and then move higher. So with that being said, I was looking at some inexpensive hedge plays to play for downside. Lamb Research, Broadcom. Those are typically my two names that I look to play for at least a put hedge. And I've said it many, many times over the last couple of months. It's not that I look at these names and think that they're not going to be higher months or years from now. I just think they offer the best opportunity to play for downside when there's weakness, because they seem to um, uh, provide great risk reward opportunities. That they accelerate to the downside quicker than the market. The puts, which you can get some that are far out of the money, they double or triple very quickly. So that's why I went and got some Lamb Research puts. I was looking to close them out flat before. I'm just going to hold them into tomorrow. Only have a couple of those. You look at the 200-day moving average is down at it's 851. I'm not saying it gets down there, but it's under its 50-day moving average was 1,000, which it broke yesterday. So maybe a little continuation tomorrow. So I'll just hold those puts as a hedge into tomorrow. I also got some TZA calls, and back in the day, TZA, I think it's split, but it offers a nice. Uh, it's not one of those names that you hold a while because there's erosion. So it's an ETF. It's a three-time bear ETF that it rebalances every afternoon and what have you, and it loses premium. So if you're long TZA, you lose money every day you hold it. So it's a short-term trade, and I was looking for another hedge to play into next week. And I still like the small caps here, but is there room for pullback? Possibly, right? We're still up. We're still in the green. Maybe we pull back a little bit more tomorrow. So I got some TZA calls. I'll continue to hold those. If it breaks over 15 here before the end of the day, I might look to close some of those out to cover costs. And then last but not least, I would say last but not least, I call this Nugget, and I haven't traded Nugget in a while. I trade J Dust and Dust. If you don't know, I think it was back in 2014. I wrote a nice piece around gold. I'm not a gold bug. I don't like gold too much. Back in 2014, there wasn't as many store of values, right? But now you fast forward 10 years later, and you have cryptocurrency. There's all these coins out there. You have all these transactional platforms out there that allow you to be the middleman. So the day that back in the day, you can make the bull case on gold and say, oh, it's a barter system. If the poop hit the fan, we have World War III or whatever. You have a system where you can barter for products and services. So there was a bull case there, and I get it. But I always look, and gold just hit highs yesterday. I think there's an opportunity, especially if the market pulls back, that gold pulls back a little bit, and then you look at some of these miners, and the miners have been on a tear. So if the market pulls back, miners pull back, gold goes down. It's like a triple whammy, and then these double and triple ETFs uh, pay really nicely. So that's why I was looking at J Dust calls and Dust calls, but the liquidity looked better on the Nugget puts. So I went and got those. Call me crazy. I think it goes to $40. You look at the 50-day moving average, 41.15. So that was kind of my thought process there. It's also, it provides a hedge. So even if gold goes up and the market sells off, the miners will probably sell off in tandem. So that also will provide some protection from market weakness. And then you look at gold, and in March it was under, it was 2025 or so. It's all the way up here over 2450. I'm not, I look at gold from a bearish, my bear goggles are on gold. So when I look at it, I don't see it. I can't wrap my head around the bull case for it. And I understand the story, and people back in the day, they would try and correlate it with the US dollar. Oh, as US dollar gets stronger, the gold gets weaker. But then over the years, you start to see that you wake up the next morning and the dollar's stronger and gold is stronger. I forget, Dennis Gartman used to be one of those people I used to follow back in the day, and he used to talk about being long of gold in yen terms. Like try and just make these narratives to be bullish gold. And I'm not going to sit here and do a rant all about gold, but I'm just trying to help you understand the rationale behind me getting some of those nugget puts. So I'll hold those. I'll hold them into tomorrow, and then possibly, if it gaps lower, I'll look to cover some of the costs and ride the rest. And then last but not least, here's Roku. So thankful, I would say thankful, lucky, I guess a little bit of both, to lock some more of my August strikes in after the open. The stock was all the way up near 66. Let's see what time that was. I don't have this up. 66.19 at about 10 o'clock. So, I put it on the watch list this morning. I didn't want to be in a situation where I lose more profits on it. We have Netflix earnings after the close. So I locked more of my August strikes. So I just have a couple August 75s left. I added those higher August strikes as well. I'll just hold those with their earnings coming at the end of the month. I think Netflix will report a strong quarter after the close. Hopefully, subscriber ads are better than expected, and it can kind of buoy the Nasdaq and the tech names, and market can find some support tomorrow. Otherwise, I start looking. I said 554, 551. Some of these names are still green on the week, so is there room for downside? And you start looking at the charts, and it's like a snowball effect, and we're kind of in a low liquidity environment. We're in the summertime mode where there's people away from desks, and funds are done doing repositioning and things like that. So there's probably an opportunity maybe for a little further pull to the downside. I hope that's not the case. We hold 550, 551 on the SPY, bounce tomorrow, head into the weekend, big earnings week next week, and go from there. But I don't want to be caught with my pants down, so I got some hedge positions, and that's about it, folks. Let's have a great afternoon. I'll be back on audio tomorrow. Let's go Netflix, Roku. Have a great day. Rock and roll.